What's going on YouTube? Smaldor here, and I am back with another thoughts video. This time it is on Trails in the Sky first chapter. This is the remake that came out just not long ago. First off, this is my first Trails game. Never played any of the games in the franchise whatsoever. I'm using my controller because I have to constantly move this so the game doesn't put it on the intro cinematic. Anyway, I've always wanted to get in this franchise. I even owned the original first chapter back from 04. Well, I didn't get it in 04. So I think when I was going to, I think they were in Cold Steel 1 or 2. It was definitely Cold Steel already. And at that time, I wasn't, like when I first got it, I didn't know that the games were connected or anything like that. And then I found out that they were. So I was like, so I kind of put it on hold, kept putting it on hold. Other games kept coming out, so I just never got around to it. Fast forward, this game's coming out. And, yeah. Decided to play it, check it out. It was more of like, alright, let's check it out, let's see what it has to offer. It definitely seems it's more on the weeb, pre-teen anime age type game, so tonality, all that kind of stuff. And for like the first, I would say like third of the game, it definitely feels that way very, very much. And when your main protagonists are 16-year-old sheltered kids, or at least Estelle is, it definitely leads to some very childish things. And I'll be honest, it kind of was bothering me, the cringe dialogue and all that kind of stuff. But the two strongest points in the game, the combat and the systems with the quartz, kept me going forward. And some of the minor things that kept me going forward because it's more of a nostalgia thing for me. Just the game's got stats, it's got gear, stats go up, it makes stats up good. Yes, you know, and that's a staple in all RPGs. You know, Asian RPGs, Western RPGs, it doesn't matter. You know, right? It's all about stats going up, and it makes us feel good. So I like that. But the quartz system, very reminiscent of like Materia from FF7. It's very different, but it kind of feels that way in like using different combination of quartz to create other spells. You know, like I have to make sure I have X amount of earth quartz and fire quartz, and you know, I can make this spell. Earth and wind quartz, I can make this. Dark and light makes this, you know, and then things like that. And it gets deeper throughout the game. And then the combat, it's full 3D turn-based combat, which is really, really nice. That's what I'm talking about. I was trying to avoid. And abilities, you have your basic attack, sure, but you're very rarely going to ever do that. You'll do it more in the early game, like the super early game, but you're going to be using arts and crafts. You know, basically it's your abilities and spells. You have circular area effects, you have conal effects, you do have some that are individual targets. You have arena-wide, you have lines, and things like this, and you have to like arrange things to hit the targets, because sometimes abilities maybe it might take a turn. And that's the thing what's kind of cool, it's not that it's just back and forth turns. The speed stat plays a huge factor, because, you know, as to how many times you get to go, when they get to go. And on the left side of the screen, there's the full timeline order of who's going to go next. Also, I beat this whole game. I don't know, how many hours do I have in this? About 59 hours. I don't know, was there a way that I could even identify if I'm going to be getting those bonuses on my turn? So there's some bonuses that you could see on the timeline order. You can have 0 free mana spell cost, and if you had that, not only does it cost no mana or EP, it'll cast the spell instantly, your turn, rather than you having to wait to cast. You can have ones where it might give you more resources at the end of the battle. You can have ones where you gain CP back, which is kind of like your stamina stat. CP is used for crafts, and EP is used for arts. Sometimes you get indicators that's like you're going to do 25% more damage, 50% more damage, 75% more damage. I think it's actually 80. I think it's only 2. I think it's 50 or 80% more damage. And all these other... that's cool, because then you have to incorporate that. You have to incorporate these abilities that can cancel enemy moves, because obviously the enemies can do all these things as well, which is really cool. These are all the things that I love about the game. The overall story. I actually really like it. So this whole time in the game, where I'm like dealing with, yeah, it's kind of cringe, childlike. Maybe it's a little too weeb for me. You know, the game is giving me world building. This game takes place in the country of Liberal. It is one of multiple countries on the continent. The game also takes place 10 years after a war that it had with one of its neighboring countries. And so Liberal, minor spoiler, you learn this very early on in the game, out of all the nations has the smallest military. But they won the war against one of the nations with the largest military. How is this possible? You know, and that's something that you'll learn later in the game. There's like political forces moving behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. And so it's great. By the end of the game, I honestly kind of like fell in love with the characters. You know, these kids, because we were with this journey with Joshua and Estelle. I should say Estelle first, because she's the main character. Joshua is just the next main character. I mean, he's just as important, but we get to see them grow throughout the game, their relationship together, and all this stuff. And by the end of the game, it was the stuff that I found cringe, I started to find very endearing. And then on top of that, it leads into the more darker stuff that it will be in chapter 2, I'm guessing. And then on top of that, there are some other reveals that happened maybe about halfway through the game. I'm sold. Anybody who's played these games knows what I'm talking about, probably, because I love a certain type of RPG setting. Yeah. I give this game an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10 overall. It's a slow burn in the beginning, but I think this game is actually great. I'm sold on the franchise. The moment I get some free time with some other all these other games, because 2025 is ridiculous, we're going to be playing Chapter 2. I'm just going to play the old game. I don't care. I'm going to play the old game with no dialogue or no voice acting. And so I should talk about that, the voice acting. It's all pretty good. You know, I would say it's pretty standard for like these JRPGs that are not Final Fantasy quality. It's probably all about that level. It's pretty good. You know, I didn't really like Estelle at first, but I realized it wasn't that I didn't like the voice actor. It's I just didn't like Estelle. And so by the end of the game, again, liked it. And it was even well before the end of the game where I was like, all right, yeah, I get it. Anyways, guys, leave any comments down below. Like the video. Subscribe, please. I can keep posting more frequently. You know, there's all these games and I don't have that much from today. Also, I did not upload my VOD for this game to YouTube. I chose not to do that. It was just a choice because I wasn't really sure, and I messed up on like the first couple streams anyway. So, yeah. You play the original? Let me know down below. Do you like the remake more than the original? Do you think it's a good, honorable remake? You know, does it capture the essence of the original? Because I don't know. Let me know. Anyways, guys, see you for the next video.